Hey there guys, what is going on? When you do see we are on the tier maker, of course, you know we are ranking something in Cold War. And today we are back, we are ranking the maps in Cold War Season 4. That is all of the 6v6 maps. That includes a lot of the new stuff. And we also are including Rush as well, which definitely hasn't come out yet as of recording this video. But when you see this, you might be looking at this a little bit later than I put it out. And we might have Rush in the game. That's a very, very cool map. And we'll get to that in just a second here. Just before we do get into it though, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do very much appreciate it and it really does help me out. Of course, we did hit 5,000 subscribers very recently and I think we can hit 6,000. So if you do want to see more videos like this, make sure you do subscribe. So let's talk about the tiers that we do have here. We are starting at the very bottom. We have the dumpster maps. These are maps that are really, really bad. I pretty much leave these most of the time when they do appear in the list and I'm like, nah, I ain't playing that. And then we have the next tier is the not bad tier. These are maps that I really don't mind playing, but they are not my favorite, of course. Pretty good maps are maps that are just a little bit better than the not bad ones. Best maps that are okay, fine, pretty good. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. Very good maps that I really, really do enjoy playing. You will, of course, see a lot of maps on this list here. And then we do have the goated tier of this as well. These are some of the best maps the game has ever made, whether that be old stuff, new stuff, lots of cool maps in the goated tier. Okay, so starting us off here, we do have the first map. We've got Apocalypse, starts with A, and that is at the top of the list. This is a map that I actually do very much enjoy. I think it plays quite nicely. There's a little bit of combat for everyone. You get a little bit of long-range combat up the middle and sometimes down the sides, as well as lots of close-range combat. I really, really do enjoy this map. It does have occasional spawn problems where you can actually get spawn trapped in like the Templey bit and down near the other side, basically the opposite end of the map. You can get some spawn stuff there that's a little yuck, but really, really do like Apocalypse and I think it deserves to go in the very good tier. The next map that we do have is Armada. Now, most of the time we are considering Armada Strike in terms of this map, as the other one is like that combined arm stuff that we're not super interested in. Armada's okay. Like, I think the more I play it, the more I kind of enjoy it. It really depends on how that middle ground of the map, like the control room of the map does go. If that is under your control and you control the little platforms, the high ground on the map, really, really good, really fun map. But for the most part, you're just sort of running towards that bit a lot of the time. So it's not a great map. It's not one of the worst that I play, but again, I feel like this is like the not bad tier is probably appropriate for Armada. The next map that we do have is Cartel, and I really, really don't like Cartel. I think on the last list, we placed this at the very, very bottom, and I don't really think I've actually played it since then. I pretty much skip Cartel every time it does come up. I really just don't enjoy the bushes. There's like that weird dust effect over the map. I just don't like this map. So I feel like we can put this in the dumpster tier, and that is pretty comfortable. Most people don't really like this map. Then we do have, I think this is Checkpoint here. This is the map inside the big hangar with the plane in the middle. I actually think this is a pretty good map, but it's one of those things where if you do like your aerial kill streaks, which are a lot of aerial kill streaks in this game, they're pretty much unusable on this map, which is a real problem, meaning you do see a lot of war machine spam and so on, which I think makes this map a little bit worse. The airstreaks are usually quite important for a map experience, but I don't think pretty good's the right spot for it. I think not bad is, it's probably somewhere between those two. It's like a tier in the middle here. I guess we are going to put it at the top of the not bad tier. I guess that doesn't really mean anything, but I think the map's okay. It's not one of my personal favorites, but you can still get some stuff done here. It's not too bad. The next map that we do have is Crossroads Strike. Now, this is one of those maps that started off as probably one of the better maps in the game, mostly because it was really the only sort of very, very close range stuff, sprinting around most of the time and just sort of getting into close range combat. You do have a little bit of long range stuff, again, down the sides and up the middle lane if you do prefer that. But I feel like this map is sort of losing its value as more better maps get added to the game. I feel like a pretty good tier is pretty decent for this thing. I really don't like the boxy stuff, and it is a little too close sometimes. You can mostly just find yourself running into people with shotguns, but I feel like if you do really enjoy close range combat, this is a good map for you. So I feel like pretty good is a good spot for it. Next map that we do have is Diesel, and I really, really do enjoy Diesel. You can have some problems with people just sitting in the middle, camping, not actually moving and playing the game. But when people do actually play this map correctly and sprint around everywhere, have a sick time, I really think Diesel plays very, very well. Diesel for me is just basically just like different Nuketown. It does have the weird sort of long highway stretchy bit where it is sort of very open. If you do go on that side of the map, you're probably going to get sniped. But for the most part, I think this is actually a very, very good map. I don't actually have any problems with it placing it in the second tier. I think this is a really, really good map in this game. Now, the next map that we do have is, of course, Express here. And I feel like I have sort of different opinions of this. Some people say this map doesn't really play very well, and other people think this is one of the best maps in the game. I feel like, again, the answer is somewhere in the middle, probably leaning more towards it being very, very good. I really do like Express, but as more better maps get added to the game, I feel like it loses its value a little bit. But again, when you do have something that is old school, something that's very, very fun to play, I feel like it still plays very well. So I think Express probably belongs in the very good tier. I think we had this in the goated tier last time, but there was fewer maps in the game overall, so I feel like very good for Express is a good plot for it. We do have Garrison here, and I feel like in certain situations, Garrison can actually be a lot of fun, particularly when you are playing in a 12v12 playlist. Garrison is so hectic, man. It is so much fun to just sort of sprint, find a gunfight, die, or get the gunfight kill, and then you sprint, and come across like 4 more people. It's just a lot of fun. It is sort of very close quarters. I feel like it's probably one of those maps that when you play it in the right situation, you are going to have a lot of fun. But if you do sort of lose a lot of people, like 6v6 is kind of tough to play on this. So I feel like it's somewhere between not bad and pretty good. I feel like we can put it again at the not bad tier, and I feel like it could move up, or at least if we had a tier in the middle, it would probably go in there. The next one is Miami, and that is the big version of Miami, Miami at night. I really don't like Miami at all. I feel like the map's just too big on its own, and that is why they did make Miami Strike, which I actually do really enjoy. But I feel like Miami on its own is just kind of weird. Most of the time you'll find people sitting in that hotel room, sniping along the big long corridor. Whenever this map comes up, I literally don't play. So we will put this in the dumpster. I don't like Miami at all. Miami Strike, though, is a very good map in this game. The close quarters nature, and you still get a little bit of long-range combat on the street side, but for the most part, you are in and out of little corridors, alleyways, and so on. Close-range combat is a real lot of fun on this particular map. I really do enjoy this one. And there's even a little bit of sort of tricky lines of sight that you can mess around with, sort of the bottom into this, like the top nightclub stairs thing. There's a little bit going on there. So it is actually quite a cool map. I really do enjoy it. I think this belongs in the very good tier. Not the goated tier, but very good map in my opinion. Next one that we do have is Moscow, and I feel like this again is one of those maps that is a little big. Probably deserves its own Strike version, something a little smaller, focuses on one area of the map. Because at the moment, there's just a lot of room on this map. There's like those 3 lanes, but for the most part, there's little offshoots and stuff. I feel like it is just a little too big for my liking. Like most of the time, if you are on 6v6, you really just run around and find nobody for like a few minutes at a time. And that's not good map design. Too big in my opinion, not really that fun to play on. So again, we can put this one in the dumpster tier. If it did get its own Strike version, a little bit different, like a little smaller area of the map, maybe 2 of the lanes, it could be a little different, but it doesn't have that at the moment. I don't really like Moscow. Now, Nuketown is one of those maps where you either adore Nuketown, need it to be in every single Call of Duty game that you play in, or you really don't like it. I sort of sit, again, as with most things, I sort of sit somewhere in the middle. I don't really need Nuketown in my life, but if I'm trying to get weapon challenges done, it is a map that I will go into and enjoy most of the time. I feel like some of you would put this in goated tier, some of you will put this in the dumpster. Again, I feel like it's again somewhere in the middle. I feel like very good's probably appropriate, as just it is one of those maps that they keep bringing back because it is so good. You know, like, Nuketown's good, but people get sick of it sometimes. It's sort of halfway in between. I feel like very good is probably appropriate for Nuketown, in my opinion. Now, Raid, our first insanely good map. I think this map is one of the best they have ever made. You get so many different options on this map. Again, fairly simple in terms of, like, that 3-lane design. Love the 3-lane stuff in Black Ops 2. But again, I feel like there is a little bit of combat for everyone. You can get a bit of sniping down either side, and even in the middle of the map sometimes. There's, like, the cross in the middle courtyard. You sort of get that sort of combat that can go either way. Like, there's crossfires a lot of the time in this map. You get a bit of sniping, you get a little long range, close range. Everything on this map is so much fun to play around. You can get away with like a sniper, SMG, whatever you want. You'll have fun on Raid, and I really do like Raid, of course. And every time it comes up, no one is skipping out on Raid, man. Nobody says, no, I'm not playing on Raid. That map sucks. So go to tier for Raid. Perfect here. Satellite is an interesting map for me. Probably depends on how you do play the game, whether you like Satellite or not. If you do snipe, you'll probably really enjoy Satellite. There is that big deserty bit that is just a sniper's dream. Long range combat. You can see under the top bit, like you can see under the top, like the satellite bit that's broken. Like, you will really like this map if you are into that, but if you're just trying to sprint in and out of those areas, it can be a little frustrating sometimes. You just get sniped across the map and there's not really much you can do about it. But again, Satellite, not bad, not the worst. The Pines, when the Pines came out, I was all about it. It does have a very cool aesthetic. I do like fighting in the mall, but it sort of gets on my nerves a little bit that you really can't run around in the middle bit. Like the bit with the fountain, that bit is just dead. Like you cannot go that way. So you have 2 lanes, which is one on the left-hand side with the escalator that goes all the way down, and there's that like sniper bit. It's just, you can't go that way if you aren't using like a long-range weapon. And then there's the stores, like in and out of that long like the corridor thing with all the stores. Like you either have to run a shotgun in there or you're really not going to get too much done. So it is a map that is kind of limited in what you can actually use. I don't like it that much. I feel like it is, again, a fairly standard Call of Duty map. A little bit of stuff for everyone, a little bit of sniping, a little bit of close range stuff. So I feel like not bad or dumpster. it's probably somewhere in between there as well. Now, Yamantau, I actually really do like Yamantau. It actually does remind me an awful lot of Summit. Of course, it is a snowy map with a satellite looking thing, so you're going to get that comparison anyway. But I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do on Yamantau. It does have a lot of cross bits, like little ins and outs of lanes that are always good. Like, you get the catwalk bit where you can jump off and kill yourself. Like, there's just a lot of cool things on Yamantau, in my opinion. I actually do think that the sort of high ground bit not seeing into, like, the bowl little courtyardy bit is actually quite cool. I like that bit. And if you do control that sort of high ground area on that balcony style, you will most likely win that map. So I think Yamantau is actually a very good map. I don't think it's goated. I don't think it's, like, pretty good. It's probably somewhere in the middle here, and I feel like very good is an appropriate place for Yamantau. We have a lot of very good maps here, in my opinion. The next map that we do have here is Collateral. Now, I really don't know what I feel about Collateral. It is sort of very new. I haven't had too much of a chance to play on it. The Collateral Strike playlist has only been out for a little while, and I enjoy it whenever I play on it. Like, there is some very thoughtful map design, but a lot of the time, the thoughtful bits, like the run across the catwalk bit, you know what I'm talking about, like the archway bit, you run on top of that to get to the next house. That's actually very thoughtful game design, like map style. I really do like that bit. But in practice, if people are in the middle, just sort of sitting on the barrels around that shipping container, you're just an easy shot. Like, most of the time, that will get you killed. And then you're sort of limited to the ways you can actually move around the map. But I really like it. But again, it is definitely prone to campers. There's lots of buildings on it. It's very similar to like a Modern Warfare map. There's just rooms that you can sit at a window and just wait for people to come to you. And that is kind of frustrating for people. So I think putting it any higher than pretty good is probably a little over the top, but I don't think it's a bad map. I don't think it's like dumpster. Not bad. I think it's a pretty good. I feel like pretty good is probably the spot for it. Now, the next map that we do have is Rush, and as of recording this video, this map is not out yet, but if you did ever play Rush, you know how this map plays, and it is so cool. I'm pretty sure you get the 3-lane design. One is the middle with the paintball thing, and there is the 2 lanes on the outside. I feel like this is going to be a very good map, but because it isn't in the game yet, we can't really give it too much of a rating, so I feel like the middle of the road, pretty good, and we'll move this around. We might actually do this after this map does come out again. We'll see, and we might actually re-rate this, or we might have changed some of our thoughts on some of these maps. So again, Rush will probably go in the middle, and when we do actually play it in Cold War, we might put it up, we might put it down. We'll have to wait and see with this. And we have Standoff. You know all about Standoff, man. Standoff is just one of the best maps they've ever made. So many good gunfights on that map. Just such a thoughtful, really well-designed map, and it plays absolutely fantastically in Cold War. You get a little bit of everything, bit of sniping, bit of long-range stuff, bit of close-range stuff with your shotguns, SMGs, whatever you want. This is just such a good map, man. Like, there's just so many things you can say about and talk forever about how good Standoff is, but we'll save you a bit of time. We'll put it in the goated tier, and we will move on to the last map, which is Hijacked. And again, the reason they keep bringing back Hijacked is because it is very similar to something like Nuketown, close-range combat all the time. Loads of different stuff you can do on this map. You get a bit of long range, you get a bit of sniping, bit of that stuff, bit of spawn trapping. It's just a lot of fun to play on this map. SMGs, shotguns, whatever you want to do on Hijacked really does work. Plays exactly the same as it did previously. You will die if you go on the catwalk on the left-hand side of the ship. If you go on that side, you're going to die. So just don't go there. But again, Hijacked, goated map. They keep bringing it back for a reason. So many people's favorite map in the game. So much fun. Really good stuff in Hijacked. That's our list here. Hopefully you did enjoy this one. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on if you have not already done so. I very much appreciate it, and it really does help me out. If you do disagree with this list, if you agree with something but you think I could have placed something higher, lower, whatever, make sure you leave a comment, let me know, and I will happily have that discussion with you, tell you why you are wrong. Of course, again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!